Thank you. So yes, hello everyone. I'm very pleased to be here with you today for this very important conference. So yes, I'm the head of the international networks for the Orange Group, and I'm going to explain what has been our journey over the last 5 years regarding introducing open source at the heart of the network. So a few words to start to know who we are in Orange International Networks. Yes, first we are deploying cables, terrestrial cables, submarine cables. You can see the figures, 600,000 kilometers of terrestrial fiber, 450,000 kilometers of submarine cable. So this is the foundation of internet. 99% of internet traffic is traveling through those cables. And on top of this layer one network, if I may say so, we are managing an internet international backbone, a tier one backbone. As you know, the internet is a set of roughly 20 tier one that are interconnected all together. So we have around 200 points of presence in 80 countries over the world, and we are providing internet connectivity to all the Orange affiliates in Europe and in Africa. So globally, those networks, we are serving a bit more than 1,800 customers. Our customers are operators, hyperscalers who are providing a lot of connectivity to Meta or Google, for instance, as well as multinational companies. We are providing basic connectivity, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. We are providing cloud and a set of services on top, such as international voice, IoT services, mobile and security services. And our global revenue is around 3 billion euros for all those services. We have, I would say, a standard softwareized network architecture that we decided to launch during the COVID crisis. During the COVID crisis in 2020, my team doing capacity planning, they were not sleeping very well. They had to upgrade a lot of components with dedicated hardware. It was really painful. And we decided to disaggregate the network and to softwareize all the network function when it is possible, such as SD-WAN features, mobile, voice, security. We decided to softwareize everything. So we have, we'll go back here. Ah, no, there is no laser. So we have basically the infrastructure, transmission. Then we have the IP internet layer. And on top, we have a Telco Cloud. This is a set of cloud platform that allow to softwareize network function. And on top, you find all our network functions, yes, such as voice, CDN, IoT. They used to be running on dedicated hardware, and now this is a piece of software running on the cloud. So we say that we have been transforming the network from a rigid box to really a Lego box. And to play with the Lego, you have the orchestration layer that is in green, that is composing the Lego pieces in order to build end-to-end services for our customers. So this softwareization brings a lot of flexibility. It also opens the way for a new industrial model in the network. As our network function now, they are piece of software, we decided to have a make or buy strategy and to rely on open source when it makes sense. So this is a summary of our journey. So if you go back in 2020, 100% of our network function, we were buying them to our traditional suppliers such as Cisco, Nokia, Juniper, etc. And we launched this make or buy approach. We started analyzing open source for the network. And today, I'm sorry, it's not the slide has been modified by the conversion. In 2025, we have 20% of our network functions that are made relying on open source. The main driver, the first driver, to be brutally honest, it was to reduce our cost. And it has been working well. We have been saving more than 20 million euros thanks to the move to open source. We have today, at the time we speak, open source functions in 800 points in the network. And we don't want to stop there. Our journey during the next 3 years is to move from 20% open source to 30%. That is, in 3 years, 1/3 of our network function will be fully open source. We still have the objective to reduce our cost, but there is a new objective that was not there really in 2020. This is what we call sometimes sovereignty. I prefer sometimes the strategic autonomy. And we do this because we don't want to be a pawn on the chessboard of any other actor, actually. And I like this definition of sovereignty, not becoming a pawn on a chessboard. This is a definition that the head of our French army is using, and I think it's a good objective. So the target is really that to move from 100% buy to 20% make open source, we decided to set up a process with a set of very basic criteria. There is a first criteria that is the cost. We go to open source if we find some savings. We like to find at least 20% savings compared to a buy approach. The second criteria, this is the complexity. We are not a software company, so we like to tackle a project if we can rely on less than 10 software developers to ensure the maintenance of our software. The third criteria, this is the famous sovereignty, strategic autonomy. For some features, we need this strategic autonomy, so we prefer to make. There is a fourth criteria that is the upskilling. Sometimes we consider that it's good, even if we have the solution off the shelf on the market, it's better to make because we will learn a lot and we will progress a lot. And the last criteria, this is the time, the go-to-market, the time to deliver. Sometimes we don't have the product off the shelf, and it's better to do in order to have the flexibility and to have a competitive advantage as well. So those are basically the criteria. So this is what we have to date on our network. We started in 2021 with voice over IP. Our voice over IP for millions of customers was relying on traditional players, and we decided to move to open source, relying on FreeSwitch, relying on CTIO, and now we have this deployed everywhere in our network. Our second battle was on the switching, the Ethernet layer 2 switching on the network. We decided to rely on Sonic, a well-known community, and we have been adding to Sonic several features, such as the netconf features, which is very, very important. The third item was related to the monitoring. We are relying on OpenTelemetry, on Neo4j, and all our monitoring is moving to open source, and all our AI for operation, digital twins are relying on those open source components. For the orchestration layer, we have been moving to Camunda and Ansible, and I will come back later on Camunda. And also all our security, from basic firewalls to advanced security, it's full open source. It's relying on Suricata and FreeBSD, and we are very, very happy with this move. And also, I can mention, you are probably aware of the Silva initiative that is co-funded by Orange with a key in our evolution to Telco Cloud and towards edge computing. So this is what we have today running in the network, and we are happy with this. And we have a roadmap. We plan to continue expanding. This year, we are really focusing our effort on SD-WAN. We are spending a lot of money on SD-WAN with legacy providers, and we are moving to full open source, relying, for instance, on the strong SWAN solution. Next year, the plan is to tackle the core routing. So with Sonic, we have been working on the switching. It's deployed everywhere. We are happy. Now we want to tackle the core routing, the core of the internet architecture. We are looking at the free-range routing community for this, and as well relying on segment routing v6. So it will be a major move next year towards open source, really at the core routing of the internet backbone. And last but not least, for further study, rather in 2028, we want to take back the control on the messaging in Europe with RCS, and we are likely to develop a full open source RCS solution. So this is what we have in our roadmap. This is something I'm sure you know this much better than me. We have basic criteria when we want to assess a community for our network functions. First of all, we look at the licensing model. We need to make sure it is compliant and it is answering our needs. We really look at the activity of a community. This is very important for us. We need to make sure we have the right support, we have the easy access to the documentation. The leadership around the governance principle of the community are very important, and the ability to contribute to the community, I would say the fact that the community is open-minded, this is also something we assess before to move. And last but not least, the quality of the software, the stability, and the roadmap are also very important criteria. We are fully aware that this open source journey is not without any risk, but I would say this is the price to pay to go to sovereignty and strategic autonomy. We know the risk. The first one, sometimes we have, I would say, hostile takeover on several communities, and we have the case at the time we speak with Camunda. As you know, from V7 to V8, we have a little issue. So in that case, there are several options. You may decide to fork to a new community, or we may decide to move to another project. In Camunda case, the objective is to fork. It's part of the risk, I would say, we take. We have also sometimes weak support in the community or lack of funding. So here in Orange, we can help by financing the developer community, or by providing more developers on our side, or relying also on a third-party company to help us. And last but not least, sometimes we see risk regarding the quality of the software, the security. But here, to mitigate this risk, actually, we have vulnerability tools in order to check continuously the quality of the code. So, having said that, after 5 years, what are the benefits? Well, the first benefit is clearly to gain full control and to be able to master what we deploy with a lot of flexibility and with a very fast time to market. This is clearly a big advantage. The second advantage, this is the cost reduction. Thanks to open source, we have no longer vendor lock-in. We can sometimes put pressure on our traditional vendors, and really for our network functions, the benefits, depending on the function, they are between 20% of cost savings. This is our minimum target, and sometimes, in particular on the voice over IP domain, we go up to 50% cost savings thanks to open source. So this is very, very important. Of course, we have, when we move to open source, we rely on all the community updates, and this is very powerful for us. And last but not least, the upskilling, moving all our teams to this journey. This is clearly preparing the future of our jobs, actually. And so this is very good. In order to move onto this journey, because we started from zero, and we had no developers at the beginning in 2020 when we started to move to this journey. So we had to build a team. Today we have around 100 people with network, with software, and with, I would say, open source mindset and skills. We have been hiring people, and we have been also upskilling and reskilling our team, and we decided to group together all those people in an entity that we call a Network Software Factory. It comes also with very strong governance. This make or buy analysis is mandatory, and of course we push for each new feature. There is a make or buy, and we push for open source. And in my team, they need to find a very good reason not to rely on the open source. We need to have clear guiding rules, and for this, and thanks OW2, we rely on all those guiding rules that are very important. And also, in order for this journey to work, we need a sponsorship at the top of the company, and this is what we have today. So, just to illustrate, but you know this better than me regarding the guiding rules, we rely on the OSPO Alliance as well as on OW2, and those are the basic principles that are really guiding our journey on open source. Here we illustrate the tone from the top. This is our CEO, Christel Edman. It was in February when we were announcing our new strategic plan. The name is Trust the Future, open source. And this is the first time in the history of the company we had the CEO mentioning open source as a strategic move in our journey. And this. So, before to conclude, a few words on what we find. You know this better than me, the agentic for software, the vibe coding. We are convinced that this is a game changer, that it's an enabler. It will definitely not replace developer, but it's a catalyzer, it's an enabler. It allows to go much faster, simplifying the onboarding on an open source code, simplifying the support, as well as we can automate all the security checks, all the code screening can be automated thanks to generative AI and more generally what we call today vibe coding. We also use vibe coding to optimize the open source libraries, and I provide you some figures. Those are figures taken from our developers from the field in the Network Software Factory. Developers, they claim savings between 30% and 50% of their time thanks to generative AI. They consider that they have been saving 20% of their time regarding the testing. And what is interesting also, this is on the upskilling, on the training. Our developers consider that thanks to agentic for software, they are saving 30% of their time. So those are figures from the field. The technology, you know this better than me, is evolving every month or even every week. So of course this figure may change, but to me this is a game changer. This is a catalyzer to speed up in our open source journey. So in a nutshell, 2020, starting introducing open source at the heart of the network. Today we have 20%. Tomorrow we want to be at 30%. We consider that this is the target to claim this strategic autonomy. Importance of the skills. We need to have highly skilled people, and we need to continue training our people. Introducing AI massively. We have to be aware of the risk, and we have to manage permanently the risk. This is part of the, I would say, of the game. And last but not least, I insist that the governance, the guiding rules are very key if you want to succeed in this journey. And I will maybe close my speech regarding the need to, in Orange International Network, we know that there are not so many companies doing open source at the heart of the network. It's very common on the IT world. It's less common on the network, so we are open. We would like more contribution, more collaboration. I think it has to be a European move if we want to get, I would say, sovereignty at the network level. So we are open to any contribution. I know there is the Eurocommon initiative. There is no network today, but we will probably push to introduce a network stream as part of this very interesting initiative. And this is concluding my speech.